What was that?
My headphones.
Oh, good thing.
Hello, everyone. I'm throwing shit around here.
Hello.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, you know. Oh, you know. I can't complain.
I forgot to put my cigarette out.
What? You forgot yourself, didn't you?
I did.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. It's Wednesday. We're live with this episode.
We're live on Wednesday.
Hey, we are.
The video looking okay?
I think so. It's got closed captions. I'm not sure.
Did that work?
Or I have no idea.
When did that happen?
I wonder if it's censored. So if I said the word fuck, does it type that out?
What does it do?
I don't know. Let's see.
Interesting.
Nope, it didn't.
Sorry, I'm
It
just
didn't.
captivated by this.
It didn't type it out.
Didn't type it out?
No, it is censored because it won't. Closed caption does not approve of profanity. Apparently,
Oh well.
they should have an unrated.
Right.
They should have an unrated closed caption version, right? Okay.
Right.
So, hope you guys are doing okay, and welcome. We're glad you're watching, and that you're obviously, if you're watching, you still have internet, so that's a good thing. I don't know. I worry about all the people that are, having issues with jobs and money and all that stuff, because I would imagine internet would be one of the first things to go if you were in that situation.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm grateful for all of you that, hey, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. It's a scary situation.
It's a very
scary
situation.
I mean, we will get through it. Just be sensible and take care of yourselves.
Wash your hands. I found hand sanitizer today. I was ecstatic. One of the little towns that I have a patient in, coworker and I stopped at the Dollar General and they had hand sanitizer. I was really happy about it because that's something like you can't find it. It's terrible.
Right?
It's terrible, I tell you. I guess everybody
Is there anything showing up? Is anyone chatting yet?
I have no idea.
Well, it should show up there.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay.
That's okay.
But we do have a few people on watching. So
welcome. We're glad you're here.
Yeah. So
this episode, let's just jump right into this episode. So,
okay.
What episode number is it?
22.
On the 22nd. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
What?
Nothing. Yeah. Is it Friday yet? I'm kind of in a fog today. Yeah. My head's kind of foggy today.
Your head's always kind of foggy.
A little bit. That's okay. Back to what I was saying. So episode 22. Hey, Christy. Oh, I love her so much. I wish you all could meet her, whoever's watching. And if you don't know her, she's amazing. One of my favorite people in existence. As opposed to people that are not in existence that I have favorites. Maybe a few. Right? Speaking of that,
that's my first. That I think that's the first thing that stumped me. That's not a good track record. First, not even a real question, and it stumped me.
Oh my God. Okay, so tonight's episode, we are not taking anybody calling in. We are literally, we posted a few days ago. I say we, like I did it. Jeremiah did it. Posted questions. Anybody who had questions for Mr. Jeremiah over here in regarding the paranormal or ghosts or spirits or all of that fun stuff or scary stuff, depending on how you look at it.
Jenny!
Hey, Jenny. There's captions with what y'all are saying.
That took us by surprise too, Christy.
Christy, it won't let me say any cuss words because it doesn't have that in its vocabulary apparently. But anyways, all right. So I'm like, we're just gonna jump right in here. I'm so excited about Yeah, all kinds of questions. And I was racking my brain because, I'm kind of drawn more to the alien thing and the astrology thing than Jeremiah is. So it's
But
like,
that's still paranormal.
well, yeah, but when it comes to you, people want to hear about ghosts and spirits, not aliens, maybe. I don't know. Do they want to hear about aliens? You guys
Well,
want to
I
hear about
don't know.
aliens? Because,
I like talking about it. So
okay, first question. Do you think aliens are already here among us? I'm going to skip.
You want my honest?
I'm going to skip the do you believe in them? I'm just going to straight up say, do you think they're already here among us?
You want my honest answer to that? It might be kind of scary.
Yes, I do. I don't know if I want to hear it, but are you an alien? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not an alien. I don't think.
I might be an alien. I have negative blood. Negative blood type.
But I do actually believe that they are here, and I think they very well could be. If their technology is advanced enough, I think they very well could be walking among us, and we wouldn't even know it.
So those of you who've seen Men in Black, do you think that they're wearing an Edgar suit? Do you think that they wear a human skin, so to speak?
No, I don't think they wear a human skin,
Like,
but they might.
What was that movie? What was that movie that came out not too long? The Dark Tower. Like in the Dark Tower, they have like a human skin suit thing. You don't think so? Well, it would make. I mean, in my mind, I would think that if there was aliens and they were here on Earth, it would be. Like they would be able to fit in more if they looked like us, right? So they've got to,
Well, I think if their technology is advanced enough, I mean, look at us. We would have to be relatively primitive compared to
an alien
civilization that could travel all the light years to get here. And
okay, second follow-up question to aliens. Okay, so if you think they are here among us already, why? Why? Let me elaborate. What would be the point if they are an advanced? Obviously, they would have to be way more advanced.
Well, there's
why would they come here?
There's 3 ways to look at that.
Ooh, 3.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 different perspectives, and you can listen to it and pick 3 different perspectives that I can see anyway, in my finite thinking. So, number 1. They are just immigrants type passing through.
Okay.
Number 2, they're studying us. They want to learn. Maybe they seeded this planet billions of years ago or whatever. And
so maybe we're aliens. Maybe we're the aliens.
And they're wanting to check up on us and see how we're doing, how we're coming along in our evolution.
Okay.
Or number 3, they're hostile. And they're here for a takeover.
I don't want to hear that.
So, I mean, it's kind of scary to think about it any way you look at it, but...
Wow, I was almost about to make a joke that I really am glad I didn't say, because it was probably could have really gotten thrown out of context with the current situation. Anyways, okay, so if they're hostile... What do you think is their ultimate plan then? Because I don't even.
Hell, I don't know.
Because I don't like thinking about aliens. Yes, I love X-Files, but I don't. Aliens, that scares the hell out of me. The idea of aliens.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it.
I mean, there's the obvious things that everyone in Hollywood has thought up. With they're needing the natural resources of this planet, or maybe we're food to them, or who knows. There's even one theory floating around out there about Bigfoot being alien food.
Bigfoot being alien food?
I've actually read someone that...
Sorry, I thought you were going to stop at Bigfoot being an alien.
No,
Bigfoot being alien
food. I mean, we're talking like Alien versus Predator kind of shit.
Wow. Yeah. Literally Alien versus Predator, because, yeah. Okay. Well... that's quite, I literally, I was like the Edgar suit. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Remember the movie Men in Black? If you haven't seen it, you should. Great movie. The first one. I actually wasn't too crazy about the after. Yeah, I really wasn't, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, so you don't think we're alone then?
No, I don't.
We're not alone. Do 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 do. X-Files, Okay, people. Okay, so that was our icebreaker question here. Good job, by the way. Good job. So now I'm going to ask some questions that people that actually wrote in and want me to ask you. So we'll just
So
jump
I
right
got to
in.
interject here right quick because I just want everyone to know I don't consider myself an expert. I don't think I have, any kind of, well, I just don't. All of this, everything, what I do have is a lot of experience dealing with the paranormal and, 13 years of formal experience and
Playing around.
probably, I don't know, 25 years total. Before that, even of, well, 20 years total anyway, before that, of just living with the paranormal, just
Quite a
because
concept.
of my upbringing. So, in the way I grew up.
Your nature and your nurture, right?
Right.
Okay. So, all right, let's just jump right in. So, one of our amazing viewers named Catherine wants to know what has been your favorite investigation?
So,
She actually has 3 questions. Favorite investigation? God, you've had so
I
many.
think my favorite investigation, hands down, has been the Tahlequah case that I worked on with Brandon Callahan.
Okay, what about after that? What about after that one?
Behind that would be the Project House in Anthony, which was always amazing.
Okay. Okay.
Behind that would probably be the historic Anthony Theater. I
Okay.
had some really cool stuff happen there.
I know you've
Got
told me some
really
stories.
cool evidence there. One of these days I'll
wild.
be able to kind of go through all that with you guys.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So her next question is there so as far as your bucket list goes, so to speak, what's your top place that you'd like to investigate on your bucket list?
So I think of anywhere that I could choose in the world.
Hi, Lena. Hi, Rochelle. Welcome.
Man, there's so many places. I think I would have to. If I ever had the chance, I would love to get in and set up and investigate the temples in Tulum, Mexico.
That could be pretty scary, I would think.
Yeah.
Whew, okay. All right. And her third question is, if you could have any experience, hold on, I'm sorry, I messed up the question. It says, if he could experience any personal spiritual phenomenon, seeing entities, possession, astral traveling, etc., what would it be? What's like the one thing you want to experience in this lifetime?
Oh, I think if I could choose the one thing that I would love to do more than anything else, I think I would like to, oh gosh. I would really, really, really like a mediumship gift. I would
really?
like to be able to communicate directly with ghosts and spirits.
Now, with that, would it be like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, where they wouldn't leave her alone, or would you want? That's one thing I wonder about mediums. Like, can they turn it on and turn it off with when people can come to them? I wish
Well, my
Lena.
understanding is they have
Lena could answer that, couldn't
they
she?
have to. They just about have to learn how to shield themselves from it, or they'd go crazy. I would think.
Yeah, Lena. Yeah, answer that, Lena, if you can, if you want to. Yeah, do you get woke up in the middle of the night from people that have messages to be delivered, or is it you know? Sorry, I got way sidetracked on that, but I don't know how to turn off this closed caption thing. It's bugging me.
I don't know.
Do you guys like the closed caption, or do you want us to try to figure out how to turn it off?
I don't know if I could figure out how to turn it off if I wanted to.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So that was Catherine's questions. Thank you, Catherine. Let's see. Tiffany would like to know, how can I get angels and spirits out of my dreams? Sometimes they're good ones, but once in a while they're nightmares. And it's like when she's not sleeping, they sneak in.
So I can actually speak from a little bit of experience on this, because I tend to be that tends to be my vulnerable time, is when I'm sleeping. In fact, I don't generally remember my dreams unless they're nightmares, and I have some doozies.
Ooh. Ooh.
So what works for me is that just over time I have learned to, because it used to, it was nightmare after nightmare after nightmare every night, day in or night in, night out. So I think I don't know what worked for me was to just, I had to learn over time how to put up like an emotional or mental shield, to just kind of project that around myself while I was sleeping, to keep everything out.
Okay.
And generally, now the only time I usually have a lot of nightmares is when I'm just entirely too stressed and it's affecting the energy of my shield, or I am too tired, or for some other reason just forget to put my shield up. So
Okay. Tiffany, I hope that answers your question. Another individual named Margaret, she has 2 questions for you. Are ghosts actually attached to things?
So I think they can be. I don't think they necessarily always are, but I think they can be. I also tend to think that is by their choice, at least most of the time, on an unconscious level. And yes, I do think ghosts have an unconscious, a subconscious, and a conscious mind like we do.
Just not the physical body?
Right.
Okay. Next question from Margaret. Do ghosts know they are spirits, or do they think they're still alive?
So I have experiences both ways. I have come across, in my research, I've come across spirits that I firmly believe did not know that they were on the other side of the veil.
You think that happens more times with kids?
I honestly don't have that much experience with child spirits.
Okay.
So I don't know. But I think most of the time, the vast majority of the time, the ghosts that I have had experience with have been well aware that they were speaking from the other side of the veil.
Okay. So then let's see. Lena. Questions from Lena include, well, tell me your most memorable experience with Brandon.
With Brandon?
Yeah. Not the whole, just like the most memorable time or moment or...
My most memorable experience with Brandon, I think, probably was Okay, so this really doesn't have anything to do with like ghost hunting or anything other than we were on the original road trip for Road Trip Paranormal when this happened.
Hence where the name came from?
Uh-huh. So Brandon and I were in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it was a week before Mardi Gras. And you could tell that this was like 2011, I think it was. And this was actually when we, on the same trip that we came across the Tahlequah case. But we were spending 3 nights in New Orleans, and I'd always wanted to go to New Orleans.
Tell me about it.
It did not disappoint. I was being a total tourist down there.
I would be too.
As such, I almost got kicked out of the St. Louis Cathedral because I walked in there and looking around, taking pictures of everything with my hat on. I forgot to take my hat off, and that was
a no-no.
A no-no.
That's a no-no.
I also almost got kicked out of a voodoo shop.
Seriously?
Yep. Because
How?
I walked in.
What? How do you almost get? How did you?
I walked in. I had my video camera running. I didn't even think about it, and they did not like that.
Oh my God.
They did not like that. So I shut it off right quick. Sorry.
Did you
Didn't
stay?
want to piss off Reverend Zombie. So.
Bet not. Oh my God. Yeah, I've never been to New Orleans. I really want to go. I really, really want to go to New Orleans. I've been to Shreveport, Louisiana, but that's just, I've never been to New Orleans. Who doesn't want to at least go once?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love it down there. It's amazing.
I would love it down there. I know I would love it down there.
Oh yeah, you would. You would.
Okay, Lena, that's a great question, by the way.
That was probably my funniest. One of my funniest experiences with Brandon.
Does he know that?
The first thing that popped into my mind.
Do you think he'd say the same thing?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
He'd probably tell you the story about me getting conned by the shoe shine guy.
You got conned by?
I got conned by a shoe shine guy
in New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell the story because
so when you're in New Orleans. Especially if it's during the busy time of the day, just about every block, you can't walk a block without someone's walking up to you and saying, "Hey, I know where you got them shoes." And if they lure you into the conversation, they'll say, "I can tell you where you got them shoes. If I can tell you where you got them shoes, you give me $10 and I'll shine them for you."
Seriously?
Yep.
Is there a universal answer?
Yep.
What's the universal answer?
On your feet.
Oh my God. Wow.
I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
I would have too.
And
I would have done the same thing. Oh my God. Okay, so Lena's next question is, what are your views on ley lines? Do you think they heighten psychic or spiritual energy, and why?
I think they do.
Just for those who don't know, we explain what a ley line is.
You know, it's a
Phenomena.
ley line. It's a geomagnetic phenomena that happens all over the earth, and they're energetic lines that run across land masses, and there's not really any organization to them like there is with our magnetic poles, on the planet. Just to look at a ley line map, it looks like an unorganized mess.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like someone just took a ruler and drew a bunch of lines. But I do believe that they have a tremendous effect on psychic and spiritual phenomena because... well, for instance, the case I was talking about a while ago, the Tahlequah case is that location is right step on top of the intersection of several ley lines.
Ooh.
and that location is insane with the types and amount of activity that happens there.
So for some reason, I'm thinking of at some point, some way, somewhere, someone mentioned in a conversation about there's an attraction. I don't know if it has to do with ley lines, but it's like, or a portal or something, but I'm going to totally butcher all of this, but it's somewhere in Arizona. Is it Arizona?
Sedona.
Yes.
The vortices.
What is
the
that?
Sedona, Arizona vortices.
Tell me about that.
You know, I don't really know that much about the Sedona, Arizona vortices or vortexes.
I don't know.
It is a huge attraction.
That just popped in my head. I don't even know why.
Psychic and spiritual people and such. And there is an absolute energy shift there. I went to when I was in Sedona for a day. This has been, God, 20, no, not quite that long. 15 years ago. I was in Sedona for a day, and there's a supposed vortex right up on the top of, I think it's called Airport Hill or Airport Mesa, which is also a phenomenal place to go watch the sunset and the moonrise. But you can absolutely feel
this just feels different.
The energy shift around there.
Ooh. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that popped in my head just now, but it did. Lena said psychic Stephanie. Oh, Lena. Maybe one of these days I'll believe you, right?
Oh, that's very cool, Becky. I did not know that Stoll and the Eldridge were on the same ley line. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. Okay, Lena has one more question. Some psychics are sensitive to energy shifts. Example would be like an earthquake, knowing when one is coming, or like getting the feeling like we're about to have one. Have you ever felt a major energy shift prior to a major event happening? Can you because I would imagine that's something that, would be hindsight sort of a thing,
So the biggest thing that I can think of most recently was something that I know of at least 4 or 5 people that I personally know felt. And that was the whole current situation with the pandemic in
just felt
all
off,
of this
like something
crisis. I never, I had people saying, okay, so we had a very trusted friend of ours telling us that two, yes, correct. 2 very trusted friends of ours telling us that you need, and even since as far back as the spring, it's not going to be a bad idea to, accumulate a few extra groceries when you can.
Like
just a little bit of preparedness stuff.
Like last spring, not this current spring, and then a year ago.
But there was no real timeline involved in it up until just real recently, and so there's that. Those folks sensing that energy shift as far back as a year ago.
Yeah.
And then I know you felt an urgency, in those last couple of 2 to 4 weeks.
Before this shit hit the fan.
Yeah, in the last 2 to 4 weeks before the WHO announced the official pandemic and all of that, you felt that urgency to really stock up on stuff, and I was freaking out because, oh my God, how are we going to pay for all these groceries? But at the same time, I did not throw the kind of fit that I normally would have thrown over that, because I also had an urgency about me. I was just too distracted with other bullshit, and I couldn't,
Right.
couldn't put my finger on what it was. So yes, I do believe that psychics
I did, man.
feel and are affected by the energy shifts of oncoming situations, whether it's a natural disaster or, a pandemic or, something as simple as someone's about to give you a call.
Oh, that happens all the time.
You know?
That happens all the time. Okay, next question. Thank you, Lena, for your questions, by the way. Those were really good. We appreciate them very much. Okay, so Jason would like to know, this is quite the question. Just be warned, this is quite a question.
Boy.
Okay, here we go. What do you think?
Jason R or Jason K?
K. Jason K.
Oh boy, this one may be above my pay grade.
Here we go. Okay. What do you think about the possibility that our consciousness /spirit/soul, whichever one you want to call it, could be projected into our bodies with the brain acting as a receiver rather than the originator? If that's a possibility, what does that potentially mean for paranormal activity we witness?
What?
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade.
Jason, that was like awesome question, by the way.
Yeah, okay, so let me break this down here.
These are all good questions. These are all good questions, by the way. But that's,
I'm not going to commit to saying that I necessarily believe something like that, but I will say that I do believe. Yeah, I mean, it could be a possibility. I think if I understand the question correctly, he's talking about instead of our consciousness actually being present here in our bodies. He's talking about our consciousness actually being somewhere else out in the cosmos or wherever, spirit world, whatever, another plane, I don't know. But our consciousness actually being somewhere else and basically driving our body like a remote control car. If I understand the question correctly, I think that's what he's asking about.
So would that explain multiple personalities? Or do you think it's one personality per individual?
I think multiple personalities can be a spiritual issue, but I think that's probably
rare.
A spiritual issue of a different type.
Okay. That's pretty wild to think about, though.
Yeah. So I think that, there's no one around to say it's right or wrong, and I think, we can charge phones wirelessly now. Why not?
Well, that's true.
Why? I know that's a very simplistic equation, but
for some of us, we need a simple explanation for a question like that.
There's my intent with that remark was to say that yes, we can project energy like that. So we have the technology for it. So if our consciousness is banked up in some central bank location somewhere, then, why couldn't it basically run our body like a remote control? Not that I necessarily think that's what happens, because I really don't. But as far as the possible impact on paranormal research, and man, that opens up a whole other line of questions. That's because how do you measure what then? Because we have a very basic set of metrics for spirit activity now, whether they be right, wrong, or indifferent. But what are the metrics that you could use for that?
Oh, I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't even know where to start. I need to go get my Quantum Physics for Dummies book out.
Do you think it's to kind of build on his question? Do you think it's possible that? Hi, Carl. Carl's watching. There's Captain Carl.
Captain Carl.
Hi, Carl. Welcome. So to expand on his question, do you think that there's a correlation between? Okay, let's say our brain is a receiver. Okay. Do you think that people who are mediums and spirits can come through them? Do you think that has anything to do with the brain being a receiver? Or do you think that's just specifically for our soul to come into our body.
So I think that,
Does my question make sense?
yes, it does. I don't think we're talking about necessarily the same package there. I think we're talking about apples and oranges.
Well, let's talk about apples and oranges.
But
Do you
I-
think that's a possibility?
But what?
That, like, people who are, spirits can come through them to deliver messages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's the same, like, the brain would be a receiver? And they've
Well, yeah. In that case, yeah, absolutely.
Special type
I just
of
don't
receiver?
think. What I think happens there, is that
Carl. We can't figure. I don't know how to turn off the closed captioning, Carl.
I think everyone's liking it so far. So I don't think we need to do anything about it.
Okay.
So what I think, and this is just me trying to rationalize through it, because I tend to have a very, even with my crazy witchy side, I tend to have a very scientific mind. I love scientific rationales.
You're way more logical than me.
So the best way I've been able to kind of think about and rationalize through psychic and especially mediumship phenomena
It is a phenomenon, man.
is that yes, telepathy, Lena, is basically kind of like that. But I think there are people who they're either born with.
A giant fucking antenna that sticks straight up for
So
spirits.
this is something that I think we all used to have back thousands and thousands of years ago. But I think over the period of time, that people have rationalized themselves out of using it, and now It's been, because it's just like anything else. If you don't use it, you lose it.
like math
So
skills.
this part of us that has been conditioned out over millennia, some people are born with that and they don't get conditioned out of it. And I think that's what happens with psychics, mediums,
Okay. It's a good.
empaths,
Right.
name it. All of the different psychic phenomena, I think that's what happens.
You just have to wake up. You just have to have that wake up to realize, well, no, it's not. That's not even true, because some people from a young age, we'll just say outgrow it. They never outgrow it.
Right.
Which is awesome. So actually, Becky has a question. Becky's question is,
Esty, I think it's 1974.
huh? Just woke up from post-work nap. What year is it? Oh my God, Esty. Right? Okay. Becky has a question. Her question is, last week Lena talked about the tone she receives in one of her ears when angels, guides are around. The same thing happens to Becky when her spirit guides are alerting her to something important. And she says, Jeremiah, do you experience any ringing in your ears when your guides are around?
So that's kind of a hard question for me.
Hi, Jessica.
Because I always have ringing in my ears. I have serious bad hearing problems. I'm like legally deaf in one ear and almost legally deaf in the other.
Well, it's a good thing I talk really loud.
I always have ringing in my ears, really bad. So, that's not a deal, that affects me, Becky. But what I do get is I just kind of get. The only way I can really describe it is like a gnawing at the base of my skull.
Really?
Yeah, it just it's like something. I don't know if I put a visual to it, it would be really gruesome. But
I'm literally picturing Miss Pettigree's School for what was that movie? Miss Pettigree's School for Peculiar Children. Miss Peregrine's School for Peculiar Children. The one little girl in there that ate from the back of her head and had like the sharp teeth. That's what I'm like picturing when you said that.
But no, it's just a kind of a gnawing sensation at just right at the base of my skull, but it's on the right side. And when that's when my guides are trying to get my attention on something, especially during readings, that's what I get. That's, it's like, it's almost like they, are beating me across the head trying to, hey, wake up.
Right.
Listen.
Hi, Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany just jumped on. Tiffany, Jeremiah answered your question. We won't go back into her question, but in the beginning, so rewind and yes. Hi, Pam. Hey, Pamela's watching. Pamela, did you notice my coffee mug? One of the ladies that's watching, this is her coffee mug that I got from her, and it's awesome. Anyways, sorry, I got sidetracked, but that's my favorite coffee mug, Pam. Just Pamela, yes, it is. Okay, so Becky said that the tone is always on the right side for her, also. Okay, so next question is from Kenna, and Kenna wants to know, what was your scariest experience?
Okay, so you've heard me talk about it a lot already, but you heard my scariest experience was in Tahlequah, hands down.
Did you think you were going to die?
I have had a lot of experiences with different things. And this was...
Kenna's ears were burning because she just popped on. Can I literally just ask your question?
So, the experience that scared me the most was the only time that I actually felt physically threatened on any kind of an investigation. I've been pushed, scratched, slapped.
Whispered in your ear?
Yes, the whole 9 yards. This was the only time that I have ever felt scared. Physically scared. And so I'll tell the story right quick. I'll keep it as brief as possible.
Okay.
But so this was, I think, about 2 years after we first found the Tahlequah location, and had the whole team down there, plus Brandon, but I think Brandon had already left for the night. And the rest of us were all kind of camping out there on the location, and it was early March. It was still really cold, so really cold. So everyone, kind of put their tents in a close circle, and we built a fire in the middle of them to keep everyone warm. Well, dumbass me, I forgot my tent. So I'm sleeping out under the stars. I've got my Alpine sleeping bag, so I'm plenty warm. No. Thank goodness it wasn't raining.
Right.
But it was really cold. I was doing fine in my Alpine sleeping bag, and I was just kind of out there. I was keeping the fire stoked for everyone else. Anyway, even in, I don't know how much time all you guys watching have ever spent in the Ozarks, but
what?
Wow. Our closed captioning is having issues, I guess. Esty said it said Taliban location instead of Tahlequah.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, Esty, I appreciate your humor because I was about to make a really terrible reference to something and people being inhabited by Edgar suits or human
Right.
suits. And sorry, never mind.
So anyway, they were, everyone was around in a circle. I was keeping the fire going, and in the Ozark Mountains, of course, Tahlequah is kind of in the foothills of the Ozarks. In the Ozark Mountains, those woods are noisy all the time. Even in the middle of the winter, bugs, birds, critters, you name it, noisy all the time. And it's sometimes it's almost deafening.
Yeah, out in the middle of nowhere, it's not peace and quiet.
Yeah.
It's peaceful, but it's not quiet.
So, I had just woke up. I think it was probably about 4:30 in the morning or so. I had just woke up, and I put some more wood on the fire, laid back down, snuggled up in my sleeping bag, and I was well on my way back out. And I can show you. I found the clip the other night. This isn't my clip per se, but this is
going to be deafening for them.
This is the closest thing I have ever been able to find to the. Got to get to the right channel. Closest thing I've ever been able to find to the noise I heard. So, but anyway, just the sounds of the woods are going nuts, and all of a sudden, there's just this noise from.
Are you going to play it?
Yeah, that was it. That was the closest thing I have found to what I heard. And it was just like something out big, out in the woods, saying, "Shut up!" Because immediately after that, it was so quiet you could have heard a pin drop in the leaf litter. I mean, it was dead quiet right after that.
Oh, wow.
I'll play it again, and then I'll tell you what that's a recording of.
I would probably... I don't even know. I think I'd probably... I don't even know what I would do. I'd probably run and hide in a corner, or I don't know.
So that is... That sound, that's the roar of a male silverback gorilla. There ain't no silverback gorillas in the woods in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, 10 miles southwest of town, or southeast of town. I don't think no.
Okay.
No. So what's the next closest thing that you think of? Well, the next closest thing I think of is Bigfoot, because there were a lot of claims about Bigfoot in this area. In fact, this location is only about 3 miles from Pumpkin Hollow, which is like one of the #1 Bigfoot sighting locations in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I'm sitting there and I hear this and I'm
You're
awake and
You're awake.
I'm sitting here and I'm doubting myself and I'm like, I'm thinking through it and stumbling around on it in my mind, and I start doubting myself. Was I falling asleep? Was that a dream? Did I dream that? Am I going crazy? What the hell? And then all of a sudden, people start tripping and falling out of their tents, saying, "Did you fucking hear that?"
Were you like, "Oh, thank God, I'm not crazy"?
I'm not crazy.
Thank God.
I'm not the only one that heard it. And holy shit, it scared the crap out of me, because this is something. This is not a ghost. This is not a spirit. This is something, I've been physically assaulted by spirits before. Pushed, shoved, slapped, scratched, the whole 9 yards. But this is something that if it wanted to, it could pick me up and pop my arms off like drumsticks.
Like Timothy Treadwell, who got eaten by bears. Yeah. The grizzly man.
That scared me.
Grizzly man.
That scared me.
Whew.
If this was, if that was at the time, I'm thinking if that really was Bigfoot, that scared me.
Oh, Jesus.
That scared the hell out of me. And we've had other experiences since then in that location that lead me to believe, yeah, that was definitely Bigfoot.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Kenna, there's your answer. Scariest thing that he's been through. Okay, Rochelle has a question. It's actually a 2-part question. Well, answer the first one, then we'll go to the second one if it applies. Her question is, what do you think or know about the ability to manifest something? She says, I watch a lot of shows. I watch a show a lot called The Dead Files, and they talk a lot about people having the ability to manifest bad shit.
So that actually goes both ways. You can manifest all kinds of stuff, both positive and negative.
Because remember, it's all a matter of perspective if something is positive or negative, right?
Yeah.
Because what's good to me might be bad to you.
So I saw a meme once that really struck home with me. The meme. Well, so you hear a lot, and when you do research on manifesting, it all starts with the thought, and the thought becomes a focus, and the focus becomes your words, and your words have the energy to go out and make things come to pass. It's kind of the process that follows. Yes, I do believe manifesting is absolutely a real thing. This studio and house and shop that we're sitting in right now is a direct result of manifesting.
Yep.
So,
no joke about that, by the way.
No,
that's last,
completely...
was that for Yule? Did we do that for Yule or Samhain?
That was,
or was it Lughnasadh?
Lughnasadh.
So last summer, guys, Lughnasadh falls in the summer, by the way. But anyways, we went out to our place out in the country, and we had like a fire going, and we had all the kids with us, which I had saw something really crazy that night. Anyways, literally all the kids wrote down what exactly they wanted when we would find the right place to move to.
All of us did, not just the kids.
Well, the kids did, and we did, but we didn't prompt them on anything. We just, what do you guys want? And we said we need a bigger vehicle, a vehicle that all 7 of us can fit in at once, and we need a house that this is exactly what we want. We want 3 bedrooms. We want a full basement with an extra room, a shop, a garage. Like, it was exactly. And then I'm driving along when we're like, hey, it's time to move. And
she was actually here in this town, which is not the town we lived in, by the way. She was getting the phone number from a rent house that we had seen on Facebook.
Not this house either.
Not this house. Different. This is a block over and 3 blocks that way.
I just had this feeling to drive down this one road, and it was. Sure enough, there was a sign in the yard.
She saw the sign.
And then the lady called, and she was like, well, I have an available time slot to go see this house at 5:15. Is that an option? And we were meeting the other people at the other house that we had got a call back on at like 5:30. So it was like, oh my God, this was meant to be.
Right.
Yeah, I just had to add that in there. Yes, this Rochelle, it works.
Manifesting is absolutely a real thing. And like I said a while ago, it starts with a thought, and a thought becomes a focus, and a focus becomes words, and words go out with the energy. They have weight. They have pull, and they have real, actual, tangible power to make things come about.
I really shouldn't go into any of my examples.
So
I really shouldn't go, guys. I do have other stories, but they're really not ones I should share.
So
live here.
What I want to say about manifesting on the negative side of it is that way back in the beginning of the process is is the same thing on the negative side of it. But at the beginning, instead of that thought, you have a fear. And if you let that fear take hold and rule your thoughts, then that fear becomes a focus.
Well, but then you also can look at it. There's 3 There's three. What am I trying to say? It has to do. Well, there's three ways to people go about things, and there's three ways. So one, you hope for something. Oh, I hope that happens. Two, you beg and you bargain, like, oh, please, please, please let this thing happen. Oh God, I want it so bad. I'd give anything. Blah blah blah. And then the third one is I know this is going to happen. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know this is going to happen. It's hoping, begging, and knowing. The first two are not going to get you what you want. The third one, knowing, is
right. So she has a second on her question there. But is it PK? I assume you mean psychokinetic ability.
Oh, do you want me to? You want me to tell you the second question?
Well, yeah. What is it?
Second question. She says, "Sorry, Rochelle. I just figured so we didn't get sidetracked too much, even though I'm really bad about that." Also, if somebody unknowingly did manifest something, how do you fix it? If that is something that he knows, if that's something you know about.
Well, that's going to depend on the situation. Largely it's going to depend on the situation. If it's a health issue that was manifested, go to the doctor. If it's like a financial or if it's a financial or something like that, then just take the appropriate action. But generally, if it's someone, if it's someone that is manifesting something, even accidentally towards you, if you're sure that it's accidentally, not intending to, the best thing to do is bring it to their attention.
Yes.
Talk to them about it. If it's something that you think might intentionally be happening, then there's other things you can set your own intentions and you can set your own manifestations in place to block that.
Mm-hmm.
To block that energy. And there's other things that can be done, but if you want some guidance on that, that's really about the best I can do without more detail. But if you have something you need some guidance on, send us another message. I'll be happy to help as much as I can.
For real. Yes. Well, Rochelle, I hope that answers your question. Can I back up in the thing? She asked, what do you think that was? And your answer is a Bigfoot.
I think it was a Bigfoot.
A Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He thinks it was a Bigfoot.
I believe it was a Bigfoot, hands down. I don't think there's anything else.
You don't hope. You're not begging. It was a Bigfoot.
I've searched and searched and searched for sounds of all kinds of animals that are known to exist around there, and I could not find anything. The only thing I found that was even remotely close, and it's spot on, was that that silverback gorilla roar.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So I have a question. Which one do I want to ask you? Sorry, hold on a second, guys. Do you feel a thorough paranormal investigation requires a psychic?
So I don't think a psychic is required for a thorough paranormal investigation. First things you have to look at is what's the purpose of the investigation? Is it just pure research, or is there an intent going along with it to assist a client?
Okay.
A trusted psychic is always very handy to have.
So Alina is always handy to have.
Yes. When you're trying to help a client, because you're going to be able to get answers that are more pertinent to the client's needs and wishes.
Okay.
But if it's just strictly for scientific research, No, I don't think a psychic is necessary. But it's always fun to see what they come up with.
Well,
You know.
that's true. That's true. I would think you would always want to take them in blind as well. Like,
Yes,
as in,
absolutely.
you don't give
as much as
them.
possible.
You just
So,
say, "Hey, just come follow us to this location." Like, you don't give them anything at
yeah.
all. That way, they have no idea what they're walking into.
as much
Okay.
as possible.
Okay.
I have never heard of the Oklahoma Dog Man, Esty. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Okay. Next question is: are ghosts and spirits existing in a higher plane, and do they understand us wanting to communicate,
So,
or do you think they're existing on the same plane? We just in a different form.
okay, so I think, and this is just purely, I mean, this is kind of coming in from my spiritual beliefs as well as my experience with the paranormal. But I think they exist primarily. I think there's a lot of different planes that ghosts and spirits can exist on. But I think for the most part, the majority of them that we interact with exist in it's on a plane, a different plane than we're on, but it's kind of like overlaid over our plane of existence. Like if you have two sheets of paper and you draw a picture on one of them and then you lay another one over the top of
Okay.
it and draw a picture on that, you have two planes there
Gotcha.
that are overlaid and they can kind of interact to an extent, but there's still a separation between them.
So it's like the from that Stranger Things show, the under, not the, what was it called in Stranger Things?
I never really
The-
got into that show, sorry.
The Upside Down, that's what it's called. Okay, never mind then. All right, do you think that ghosts and spirits remember people and memories from when they were still existing in their human body? When they pass to the next whatever, do you think that they have memories?
Yes, I believe they do.
You do?
Yeah.
So do you think that when a soul comes back for its next human experience, it kind of forgets most of past lives then?
I think the energy of those memories gets left on that plane, and when they go back to that plane, they have the ability to start working and learning to pick those back up again.
So
I think there are spirits over there that have the ability to remember all of the lives they lived.
Oh, wow.
But when they come over here for another human experience, I think they, for the most part, the energy of those memories gets left behind. Otherwise, you're not going to learn what you need to learn over here.
So do you think that could be in part why we're drawn to certain things
Yeah,
or certain people?
yeah.
Okay, well, it would make sense. In past lives, if you, I don't know, had to do with death and performing rituals and helping people cross over to the other side, maybe that's why you're drawn to end of life in this current life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that a good question?
Yeah.
Okay. Of all the investigations you've been part of for a client, have you ever genuinely felt that the results you gave the client were not correct? Like you went back afterwards and thought, I just don't feel easy. I just don't feel good about how this turned out. I don't feel good about the results that I gave them. I think there might be more to the story.
So, I always think there could be more to the story. I always know there's more to the story, because, we're not going to uncover everything that's going on in a matter of a couple of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hour investigations.
Okay.
That's why I'm always open to going back to locations. And I personally don't like to call a case closed after just one investigation, not even after just 2 investigations. I have always preferred to do multiple investigations when possible. It's not always possible. And then there's times when, one investigation is warranted, only one investigation is warranted. Okay. There's some times when it doesn't even make it to the investigation phase.
Oh.
So.
Speaking of that, of all of the clients you've had over the years here, if you were to weight the ones who actually are serious about wanting an investigation to get some results versus people who are just full of shit and want attention, how would you say that weight is? Like 60-40, 50-50?
I think that the number of clients that earnestly want help or want understanding or just want to know what's going on, I think generally drastically outweighs the number that are just full of shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
There are those, and I have come across those, but I've even come across people that wanted to pay me to come out with certain results, specific results on an investigation.
That's messed up, man.
I've come across people that were trying to pull the wool over our eyes and fake evidence,
what?
That type of thing.
Damn.
So yeah, so there are those out there, but I think the vast majority of clients are going to be people that earnestly just want to understand.
Okay.
Or, more to the point, want to know they're not crazy.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, I bet a lot of people just want to know they're not crazy and there really is something going on. Mm-hmm. I would imagine that's a big chunk of the people that actually reach out and be like, okay, something's going on here.
Right.
Okay. Do you think spirits experience emotion like we do?
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have, I think pretty much the only thing they're lacking that we have, they don't have, is the physical body. They still have they are a spirit, and I still think they have the emotional mind and everything. A pissed off, angry person is going to become a pissed off, angry ghost.
That's true. Okay, what was your first paranormal experience that you can remember?
So,
I read it too.
That's funny, Carl.
Carl.
So, okay, so my actual very first paranormal experience, I don't know how comfortable I am talking about that on this platform.
Well, let's skip that one and go to the next one.
I can move on to the next one.
Was it at the project house?
No. It
was before that?
Yeah. This is, what I can do is I can go into my first ghost hunting experience.
Yeah,
that was when I was a teenager. Okay. And we used to go dink around because I grew up in a tiny little bitty town in the panhandle of Texas. There wasn't anything to do on a Saturday night except for go cause trouble. So we'd go out, out on the country back roads. We'd drive 200 or 300 miles in one night looking for abandoned farmhouses to go explore and stuff like that. And we'd go explore them and hope the cops didn't get called on us. you know. But I do remember there was one that we frequented a lot because we knew we wouldn't get in trouble going there, and we had a lot of kind of unexplainable stuff
Hold on,
happen there.
I have to interrupt you and ask it. So when you were a cop, did you go drive around to abandoned houses?
No.
Thinking that people were trespassing, trying to have a ghost hunt?
I didn't mess with any of that unless I got calls.
I had to ask.
We there was one night, me and several good friends were out there, and let's see here. There was one guy in particular who was always very skittish. He was very jumpy, very easy to startle and scare. And so we always, he was an easy target. We always picked on him, Not bullying, just, having fun with. And he took it all in good fun, except for this one night. So we're out there, and we're in this old farmhouse, and there was we're all on the, let's see, well, most of us were on the ground floor, some of us were upstairs, but we were all separated, all just kind of doing our own thing. Tater salad. So we were all just kind of doing our own thing, and all of a sudden, this friend of mine, starts just screaming bloody murder. He is freaking out about something.
Oh my!
Now this wasn't an extremely rare occurrence with him, but still, the abandoned farmhouse. I didn't know if he had fallen through some floorboards or something had fallen on him. So we went and found him. We found him sitting in a closet on the shelf, 5.5 feet off the ground.
Wow.
In the dusty old farmhouse, there were no disturbed dust prints, nothing to give us any kind of a clue as to how he got up there. And the only prints or places where the dust was disturbed on the shelf was where his ass was. He swears up and down someone picked him up and put him up there.
Oh.
And that's kind of honestly the story that the dust print told.
Whoa.
But I don't know, maybe he was, getting back at us for all of the wrathing we had given him, and wouldn't put it past him, but and I wouldn't blame him either, but you'd have to be very, very agile to get up there without disturbing the dust on something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's
interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever pissed off or provoked a spirit on purpose?
Yeah, I used to do that stupid shit. I don't anymore.
You learned the hard way?
Yeah, I learned the hard way. Don't do that.
Why? What happened?
I got scratched twice.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Okay.
One of them is documented in one of Brandon Callahan's books.
Oh my God.
The House Where Evil Lurks.
Okay. Let's see. What's my next question I want to ask you? Sorry, guys. I have a list of things I came up with. Okay. Do you think that all spirits are pretty much basically pure energy, and that is why it's not as often that we actually see them as it is that we would catch them, like with the EVPs or flashlights flickering or anything where there's a lot of energy being used?
Yeah, I mean that's where they're gonna find the easiest way to interact with us.
So what do you think it takes for a spirit to be visible to a human?
I think their energy field has to either be just right or they have to expend a lot of energy.
Oh, so it's like it's a task for a spirit to actually.
I believe. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I believe.
Then how do you how would you explain some people see stuff all the time and some people never do?
Well, that's where their antenna is more sensitive.
They have a bigger antenna. Okay. Okay, so speaking of EVPs, because I mentioned that, explain what an EVP is first off.
An EVP is an electronic voice phenomena. It's a voice phenomena that is caught on some sort of an electronic recording device that was not heard
By the naked ear?
It was not heard audibly when it was recorded.
Okay. Of all the EVPs you've caught, was there one above the rest that you'll never forget, and did it give you chills?
So there was one, and I wish I had my hard drive with all this stuff on it. I am actively working on that. There was one that I will get to share with you guys sooner or later that was very heart-wrenching, I'll say. At one of the little stores that we investigated down in Anthony, we caught the voice, and this was an absolute Class A EVP, not one of these Class A's that you hear nowadays that, you still can't hardly make out, even though it's supposedly a Class A. I mean, this was an actual Class A, like you heard tone in the voice, it wasn't just an exaggerated whisper. This was a voice just like you and I are talking right now. It was a voice. And it was the voice of a young girl and calling for her mama.
Oh, that's heart-wrenching.
Yeah. She called for her mama twice. Mama, where are you? Mama, mama.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and it was kind of heart-wrenching. There was it brought the shop owner to tears.
Oh, I imagine.
So,
I imagine, man. So, in your opinion, is possession a real thing?
Okay, so this gets tricky. Yes, I think possession can be a real thing.
But?
I think it is far, far, far more rare than Hollywood or most anyone else would have you believe.
So what type of a spirit, in your opinion, possesses
An
a
inhuman spirit is the only one, I believe firmly, an inhuman spirit is the only one that can possess a human.
When you say inhuman, you mean?
Something that has never walked the earth in human form.
Okay. So on that note, the measures that people use to, let's say somebody is possessed, the measures people use to take to exorcise the demons, okay, right? That's what we call it. Why would a non-human entity respond to human measures to make them go away? Or make them leave?
Okay, so that's a really good question.
Why, thank you.
But it's a little more complicated than that, because while the human person who is performing the quote-unquote exorcism is using human actions and human intention, the energy they're funneling is not human energy. It is universal energy.
So they're like a conduit?
Yes.
Okay.
The energy that they're funneling that actually does the work of repelling that spirit.
What? Okay, so you've heard people talk about, I want to cleanse, like if they're getting ready to move into a new home or something, like I want to cleanse the home. I want a cleansing. Okay, first off, what does that consist of? And second of all, what's the purpose of it? Cleansing a space.
So you're cleansing energies. You're cleansing residual, whether it be negative, sometimes even positive, just residual sticky energies that have stuck around from the previous tenants or owners. And you just, you want to wipe that stuff out, sweep it out so you can have a fresh start energy wise. A cleansing doesn't necessarily rid a place of spirits. It can, but it doesn't necessarily rid a space of spirits.
Is there anything you can do to your home to rid the space of spirits?
Make it uncomfortable for them.
And what means would you use to do that?
Well, that depends on the spirit and what their intent and purpose is.
Okay.
I mean, that's almost an endless question, or a question with an almost endless list of answers.
So, like, briefly describe how you would cleanse a home.
So, what I like to do,
or a business, or anywhere that somebody wants cleansed.
Yeah, what I like to do, I'm a big believer in less is more. Any kind of action to put, some force behind your intent. So I like to use the old standby. I use sage, and I start at the front entrance, and I go all the way through the home, through all the rooms, upstairs, downstairs, wherever. I hug the wall and go all the way through until I come back and end up back at the front door.
So if there's multi-levels, you go on all the levels?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I have a little incantation I like to recite while I'm doing it.
Incantation?
It just gives a little bit more power to it. But it's really simple and sweet, and it gets the job done.
Would you say that anybody who allows a cleansing to be done in their home or whatever space they want cleansed, would you say that they are opening up the door for some witchy things to come through? Or do you think that more people...
Not necessarily. I mean, it's energy work, and depending on how strict you wanted to get with that definition, I mean, it could be considered witchcraft. But I don't think you necessarily are opening yourself up to becoming a witch just to cleanse energies out.
Okay, that answers my question. So, anybody who's dealing with some kind of an issue they can't explain right now, what would be your advice for them?
So...
Ooh, Becky has a good question.
Oh, yeah. I'll
answer that first before you answer. Answer that first? Yeah. So okay. Becky asked, do you use the runes for cleansing purposes?
I have used the runes for cleansing purposes in assisting families or clients with more difficult circumstances. Generally, it's going to consist of a bend rune that is specifically designed for their specific circumstance, and I'll give them I'll give them some education and pointers, assistance on creating that, learning how to use it, putting their energy and their intention into it and behind it, and always had very good luck with it. I can't say that I've ever used the runes just for simple cleansing, just to cleanse out energies, but when dealing with some more difficult spirits, yes, I have.
Okay, so now back to whatever my question was. I don't remember what my question was. I have too many on this list, and I didn't go in order. Why didn't I go in order?
I don't know.
Oh my God, I don't know either. But hey, here's a fun one. So if you were just driving along, smoking your cigarette, whatever, and all of a sudden you look out your window and there's a UFO.
We've been going for an hour and 25 minutes, by the way, so we better make this the last one.
Oh, okay, last question. So if you're driving along and you're, happy and listening to your music and smoking a cigarette, whatever you're doing, and you look out your window and you see a fucking UFO, what would you do? Like, if you looked up in the sky and you saw, what would you do?
So I've actually been in that situation before, and it took me...
Did you do a double take?
It took me about 25 minutes to travel 7 miles on the interstate. Not because I lost time or anything like that. I just was looking at this thing because its positioning was very suspicious. It was over a really scary spot for something like that to be over. It was over one of the aerospace plants here in Wichita. I told you about that.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was probably about 500-600 feet in the air, hovering there, and it was there the entire time. I drove 7 miles. I had to go in and get gas. I had to turn around and come back to get to my home, and it was still there. And I stood outside my home and watched it for another hour or so before I finally I got so stinking tired, and plus the sun was about to come up, which I don't know why I didn't wait for the sun to come up. I was tired and not thinking straight. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why there wasn't a lot of other reports, because I really, really, really tried to think of another reason for that to be there then. But I didn't hear anything about any other reports.
Well, thank you. I don't even know what I would do. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it, I can't help but wonder if people who are actually afraid of aliens, I don't know, maybe we've been abducted and have no memory of it. I don't know, but freaks me out, man. Scary.
Well, according to the one guy that you got the reading from, you've been abducted how many times?
Oh, that was a pretty freaky reading because he went through and anyways, there was I'm
not sure how much stock I put into that one, but that's just
me. Yeah. Actually, and then according to the same person, one of our kids has also been abducted, which the timeline really caught my attention that he talked about because
that was interesting
was pretty.
Because there is a story there that we'll have to get into some other time if we decide to, but there is a story there that is
pretty wild.
Yeah, really wild.
Pretty wild. So. Oh God, that was terrible. Anyway, so that's the questions I came up with, and we all came up with. If you guys think of any other questions, Rochelle said she would message us later.
I saw that.
Okay, and thank you guys for watching. And it's pre-Friday, and it's spring, right? And it's a new moon. Yep. Is it a new moon tonight in Taurus? I believe.
So. Yep.
So enjoy that and set your, whatever intentions you want to set for the new moon, right? Do that, and
set your reminders for next week. And while I've got you here, do me a favor.
Go to YouTube so we can find it.
Yeah,
so we can't find YouTube.
We've got almost 400 followers on Facebook, and we really appreciate that from all of you guys that have helped us get to that point. What I want you all to do is I want you to go to our YouTube channel and like or subscribe to it. You don't have to hit the notification bell if you don't want to, although I would really encourage you to. But
I'll tell you how I finally found it.
Just go subscribe, because if we get just a quarter of the followers or subscribers on YouTube that we have followers on Facebook, I can get a custom URL from YouTube that will make it so much easier to find.
because the band The Darkness takes precedence over Darkness Live.
Go figure.
The Darkness, that
So-
one hit wonder. I don't
Right.
know. But
So, yeah.
So guys, so if you're gonna be like how I was, because my son was wanting to try to watch us tonight on YouTube, and I hope he got to watch it. Hi, Lennon,
We never
if you're
had
watching
anyone
it.
log on YouTube.
Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But anyways, so I finally was like, how I couldn't find it because I kept typing in Darkness Live and I kept typing in like Darkness Live Jeremiah. I finally found it because I typed in Darkness Live Lena Townsend.
Yeah.
And then Lena, thank you, by the way.
So
you have to scroll down a little bit,
if
but
you scroll down. I'll put up another link for it in the newer comments. But if you scroll back a few days in our Darkness Live page posts, there is a link to the YouTube channel.
You should
there.
just put another one up.
So I will.
you should just put another one up.
So, but yeah, if you want to do that right now before I get the chance to go do that, then yeah, that's the easiest way to get there for now. So
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
In the meantime, set your reminders for next week. I've got a couple of different sites set on guests for next week. We'll see which one turns out.
Yeah, I don't even know who you're thinking of with that.
And we'll see which one turns out.
Okay.
And
Whichever
then
one is meant to be.
I'll put up an announcement as soon as I know for sure, and we will be back live again next week.
Hey, one last question for
Mm-hmm.
you. Is there anything that you really just do not put stock in when it comes to the paranormal? The devil?
Well, that's more of a spiritual
Okay.
thing than a paranormal thing. There's just so many possibilities. So it is so. Oh, hey, cool! Thank you, Esty.
There's our
Yes.
YouTube channel.
See, that's why I can't, that's why it's so damned hard to find. Look at that. That's ridiculous. But if I can get 100 subscribers, I can get one that says youtube.com/channel/darknesslive.
Please, people,
It's so
Make
much
up-
easier.
make up profiles or whatever. Go
Anyway,
subscribe. so
yeah,
we can-
just please, please
really-
hit subscribe. I would encourage you to hit the notification bell too, because there will be times when we go live on YouTube and not on Facebook, or vice versa. So it's best to get notified either way. Anyway,
If there's anything you don't put stock in with the paranormal.
oh yes, oh goodness, I think there are a lot of. Okay, so I think as far as paranormal thinking, strictly paranormal thinking, I think I think my biggest hang up in paranormal is probably conspiracy theory. I can't get into conspiracy theory, and I have a really hard time putting a lot of stock in it, in some of it. Some of it's pretty interesting, the whole JFK thing.
What about the whole Roswell thing?
Roswell, that's another really interesting one. But this is that Roswell and even JFK and that those are ones that that involve other aspects of the paranormal that I am interested in, So, but it just the rest of it, if it doesn't have some other aspect of the paranormal involved, I just don't really. Hey,
Esty, we like what you've got
I
to
like
say,
that.
my
I like
friend.
that thinking, Esty. Maybe that'll work for me. So.
Oh my God, I literally just pictured that movie Signs when they're
Yeah.
all sitting there with their aluminum hats on, Back when Joaquin, before he
Yeah.
became the Joker.
Right.
Actually, that was a while ago. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah,
All right.
At you guys
We're
tonight.
going to hop off of here. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching tonight. It's been a blast.
Yes.
Hope I didn't bore you guys to tears. We just thought it would be kind of fun. And Elvis just went home. So, yeah, we're going to jump off of here.
He's not dead. He just went home.
Right? Set your reminders for next week. And
We'll be back.
we will be back live next Wednesday at 7 p.m. In the meantime, like, subscribe, share, do everything you can. Help us get the word out, and don't be afraid of the dark.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good night.
Oh, let me find my right video. There we go.
Bye.
Bye.